our biggest announcement that we have, that's gonna kind of elevate how the mine functions to help drive in more adoption.
Coastal crypto adoption or cryptocurrency adoption?
Both.
Both.
Bingo.
Yeah, this is
Over that.
something that Mark and I have talked about from the very beginning since we first started talking about coastal crypto and what we wanted to do. Um, and it's gone through multiple different reiterations of how we were going to do it and how we were going to launch it and how everything was going to happen. But in true coastal crypto fashion, we said fuck it and we just winged it. Fly by the seat of our pants. No, I say that joking. We put a lot of thought and a lot of effort into this, and we've been taking notes. I mean, I got binders full of notes about what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do this. And I'm of course talking about Mark. You wanna?
CCMToken, coastal crypto mining token. Yes.
We have launched our own smart contract token on Polygon. This
Now,
is it's a step. It's a step, right? It's a big step for us. This is going to eat up a lot of liquidity. This is going to eat up a lot of time and effort and open up a whole nother door for coastal crypto to expand. So more on our plates if it wasn't full enough already.
yeah. So let's just go a little bit before we're gonna pull our first draft of the white paper that we're gonna make public. Um, we're gonna pull that up, but before we pull that up, let me just kind of go over the a brief synopsis of how this kind of works. Price of the token is not really like the forefront of what we're looking for. However, we are going to be providing liquidity to exchanges, mainly DeFi exchanges. We're not trying to push this onto any centralized exchange whatsoever for the first iteration of this. Um, and that's basically just to get it on an exchange. Um, we're putting it out there so people can acquire it without having us be involved. So we're not really advertising it, so the likelihood of the liquidity being eaten up there is very slim, unless offset, off chance some popular something happens and liquidity gets eaten up through it. But we're slowly putting it in there. The reason we're bringing it up in this live stream is to see if you guys could help out a little bit too with that, but we'll go over that in a few minutes. The main goal for this is to start doing shares of machines without having to go through a hosting contract, and then um, being able to mine without having to actually, like, let me buy a machine, spending basically thousands of dollars buying a machine, and then waiting for it, things like that. It's
we're,
just basically,
we're opening the door for
yeah.
the guys that are true cryptocurrency entrepreneurs, know the ecosystems, but may not have the capital to buy a $6,000, $20,000 machine. So this is a way for us to help the little guy, because we get questions all the time about what's our minimum hosting, or what can we host, or what are your payout schemes for hosting. And a lot of people kind of not run for the hills, but aren't at the level in which we are hosting some of our larger capacities, in terms of our main income for hosting streams, right?
Yes, absolutely. So we built this for the little guy.
Yep, yep. And it's not price driven. It's community driven. It is a way to really get your feet wet inside the crypto mining space, along with helping coastal crypto grow. We have some bigger plans to incorporate YouTubers and not referral programs, but what we were talking about, a networking system for creators to test machines without having to own the machines.
Yep.
Creating a whole inner network solely specific virtual machines for mining creators, cryptocurrency creators, to test machines and do reviews on machines without having to actually own them. And it gives you the opportunity as well to do the same thing when you're just not in a more in-depth scale kind of scenario. So it's big stuff coming. Big stuff.
Bring up the white paper. Our first draft.
Drum roll.
Yeah. We'll go over that in depth. Again, you put your questions in chat. We'll make sure we answer every single one at the end of the live stream. And yeah, this is going to be a fun journey, guys.
I mean, it's a small white paper. Do we want to just read it off? CCMToken, peer-to-peer network. It is 42,069,000,000 total max supply. Did I say that correctly? There is a 6% transaction fee tied to the token, which will help push the token to new levels, obviously. Kind of gave an example here of how that 6% tax will work. It is it's broken up into 3 segments, but it's a total that comes out of each transaction. So the example is John transfers 5,000 CCM to Mark. Mark will receive 4,700 CCM. It's that simple. It's nothing extremely convoluted. It's got low fees because we're on the Polygon network, and we tried to keep the transactional tax as low as we possibly could. How that 6% will break down: 2% goes to CCM OPEX, or operating expenses, including CCM pool development for our own cryptocurrency pool that we would like to do, and CCM decentralized exchange as well. Operating expense is the build out, solar, different infrastructure inside the actual company itself. Another one.
So that'd be like, so if we get a new machine and we don't have a lane set up, that would build a lane.
Correct.
That would run the electrical to it. That would a PDU if needed. Things like that. So it's more than just operation expense. It's like when you buy a machine, it's more than just buying the machine. So we're trying to account for all the other little things, and we feel like that this percentage could help with that.
Right. Can I make this a little bit bigger so everybody can see it better? Let me see. How do I zoom in?
I don't know. Got to go full screen.
Okay.
So the next one, below that 2%, 1% marketing / community needs, if applicable, airdrops, etc. So like this is gonna be like giveaways. Like today, anybody in the chat right now, we would be looking at providing you guys a giveaway. All we ask you is, if you could, DM us via Discord or Twitter with your Polygon address, and we'll drop you some CCM tokens.
Yep, I'm gonna drop the contract address in the chat right now.
All right, cool. And then the other side of that. So there's 2 wallets that have been set up. One is 3% for the two items that we just went over. The other is for new machines for profit sharing. So in this case, if we want to go and get in another S19 to upload for everybody to divvy up their shares into, then that's what that fund would go for. The other portion would be exchange liquidity and tradable pairs. So a couple exchanges named here. We are already on QuickSwap, a very limited amount. We will continue growing that from our own funds, as we already have started. Again, we are asking you guys for help. So if you could contribute to that, as people start to swap the pairs, you'll get benefit from that also. Because that's literally how liquidity pools work.
Right. And if you're not familiar with setting up a liquidity pool or a liquidity pair, I'm going to do a video on that later on. But you could also, if you're on Discord, if you're part of the Discord community and you're in the know, there is a special link in Discord to get your hands on CCMToken rather than going to QuickSwap.
Yep. Yeah, and so our goal is to be on Uniswap, 1inch, Sushi Swap, things like that. We are on another exchange also called Polydex. We have removed liquidity there because we felt it would be more beneficial to centralize liquidity for the time being on QuickSwap, just because of the how prevalent QuickSwap is in the Polygon community. But again, we want to diversify. We want to be on more decentralized exchanges, and as time goes on, we'll be pumping into these exchanges liquidity and pairings. So basically, the rest of the white paper kind of just goes over exactly what we've kind of been relaying thus far. Mining is a costly venture to start. One of many problems that presents themselves as farm or what is it? Oh, barriers of entry and prevents mass adoption. That's the cost. I guess we really should have read this before we launched it, right?
It's a draft. We're working
Yeah.
on the fundamentals of it, but we wanted to get something out there for you guys to see.
Yeah. So CCMToken is striving to provide simple solutions for entering into the vast crypto mining ecosystem. Let's see. Without having to purchase expensive, inflated equipment out of pocket, and the burden of setting up a complete infrastructure, i.e., electrical distribution, networking, ventilation, etc. When you start setting up mining, and I'm sure all the hobbyists can contest, it's more than just getting a machine and plugging it in. And we've said that multiple times, right? And so that's why we're creating this. The goal is basically, with a minimal commitment on your guys' end, which would be putting in, accumulating some of the token, putting it into a smart contract that we're going to be building, and then locking in for a specific duration. This example gives 90 days. And then at that point, after your 90 days, if you want to pull out and just swap your token out to, whatever the pairings are, in this case, Matic is what we have really set up currently. You can just go on with your life. Or if you want to turn around and put it into the machine again, or a different machine, so on and so forth, because we're going to have multiple smart contracts rolling at any given time. Initially, we are going to start off with an S19. So just to give a heads up. And then the way that we're going to be paying out, which this process might be manual at first, but as time goes on and the smart contract is actually implemented, it would be basically paid out in wrapped Bitcoin on the Polygon network. So you don't even have to put in a Bitcoin address, because essentially we're just going to be shooting out wrapped Bitcoin straight to your Polygon address that you've already given to us with sending your tokens in. So it's going to be a very automated system, easy to implement on a user's end, but it's going to be
Simplicity is key.
Yeah, simplicity is key. But on our end, it's going to be a complex smart contract that helps make it simplistic for the user.
Continuing on, with minimal commitment required, CCMToken would open up a new avenue for acquiring cryptocurrencies passively, firstly through community-guided liquidity pools and decentralized exchanges like, for example, QuickSwap, which Mark just went over. And that's what our Discord pre-sale is kind of doing, is helping us build those liquidity pools. And taking your guys's feedback, what do you want? You want to see Matic? You want to see USDT? You want to see AVE? What kind of liquidity pools do you guys want to see? So being a part of the Discord moving forward is going to be key to really making this thing pop off. And we'll be posting it after this on Twitter as well, and taking polls on Twitter regarding to which liquidity pools we're moving forward with. Secondly, the development of smart contracts tied to physical machines mining proof-of-stake cryptocurrencies that will allow crypto entrepreneurs a simple solution for acquiring a desirable currency, such as Bitcoin, Litecoin, KDA, whatever it may be. The parties involved, which would be the person staking the cryptocurrency or staking CCM and us, Coastal Crypto Mining LLC, are provided a balanced mining ecosystem with a simple payout structure after power expenses. So what Mark, just like Mark was talking about, you'll be paid out in a wrapped cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, what else? We were talking about Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, ETC, whatever it is. It'll be wrapped on the Polygon network and sent back to you through the Polygon address, keeping it as simple as possible. Currently, Discord exclusive pre-sale started on November 11th and will run until the allotted 15 million tokens have sold out or until our goals have been met. Goals being adding liquidity to the liquidity pools. The pre-sale price on Discord is 0.007 Matic. That is roughly, well, Matic pumped since we wrote this, but it's roughly 0.006 USDT. Reason for pre-sale is to fund initial exchange liquidity pools, already stated. Some of our goals moving forward for this crypto token, a decentralized token for distributing and funding liquidity pools. It's kind of our first step here. Hire a dev or development team to help create and start up items 3 and 4. 3 and 4 consist of smart contract mining equipment pools, lock CCM tokens for a minimum period of 90 days, timeframe subject to change based on community feedback, for a % of the mining rewards from a physical machine in Coastal Crypto Mine. When this goes live, we'll be giving out the serial number. We'll be giving out, you'll see the physical machine in the farm. It's not just going to be a stock image of a piece of equipment saying, hey, this is the machine you're connected to. No, we're going to, give you the serial number. We're going to make sure that, it's really in our farm and so on. Balance sharing machine examples. So some of the machines that we're looking to start off with, S17, S19, L7s, and depending on the review for the L1 may be tossed in there as well. Payout in wrapped BTC or LTC, ETC. Shares would be based off of retail market value of the machine with a minimum commitment of 10% for a minimum of 90 days based on community consensus. So let me explain that a little bit more. Or Mark, do you want to explain that a little bit more?
So basically what we're going to be trying to start off with is say you have an S19, that we're going to be implementing. That S19 cost the company $2,500 to get, right? So what we're going to be doing is to accumulate 100% of the shares. We're going to be putting that into 10% allotments. So that would be the minimum amount. And so the reason we made the token in trying to strive for an actual value on the actual token is to correlate it to USDT or USD dollars. So once you submit into the smart contracts or deposit your CCM token, it'll be a USD equivalent of how much ever a CCM token is to absorb your 10% commitment into the machine to get your mined crypto. And so the mined crypto would be after power. So all you're getting is the net of anything. And, as the machine mines, you would end up getting paid. What we're going to be doing is distributions at the end of the month. So 3 months go on, you decide you want to lock out, you're more than welcome to. But in this case, what is 10% of 2,500? $250.
Perfect. Last stage here, or stage 2, or the opening up the door for our phase 2 for this cryptocurrency or this token would be blockchain smart contract integration for GPU mining. We have 15 million allotted. That's subject to change based on the community. But once everything is underway and we get the contract up and going and we have a liquidity pool set up and everything is moving smoothly, our next step is to make this coin, or an integration of this coin, mineable for GPUs.
I mean, that's a big step. I think that I think more people will be enticed to accumulate the coin once we have that smart contract driven. I'm sure for those that do GPU mine, they have seen other projects do something similar to this. So just be patient with us on that aspect. Once we figure out exactly how we have that all set up, we are already working with a couple devs that are interested in the project. So movements already started to take place on that phase. It's just a matter of really working out the details so that they know what we want within it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff we're going over right now is the back end stuff. Where we're like Mark said, we're interviewing and we're talking to developers to help us build out the front end. So it's an easy integration into our site, or an additional site that we'll have to create, so you can get into these smart contracts, so you can see more in depth of what's going on. But we didn't want to make this a huge, airdrop, or this big pre-sale. I mean, we're doing this in stages, and we're trying to keep it small for a reason. And we're growing. We're trying to grow this as organically as we possibly can, so we don't see instances like some of these other tokens that are out there. We want this to grow stably. We want this to grow slowly. We want this to grow organically. And that's kind of why we're doing it the way we're doing it, with small pre-sales or exclusive pre-sales, and slowly integrating liquidity into liquidity pools.